So good evening everyone. In day 1 we have discussed about the computer fundamentals and introduction to C language, and in day 2 we discussed about the C introduction, like C is a structured programming language developed by Dennis Ritchie at AT&T Bell Labs and in USA in 1972. So remember, C is a structured programming language, means we divide the complete application in the form of functions. What is a function? It is a subprogram used to do a specific task. And we have discussed about structure of a C program, mean how a C program looks. A C program divided into some sections like documentation section, definition section, linkage section, global declaration section, main function, where it goes with two subparts, declaration part and executable part. Subprogram section means where we go with the functions. Today, let us start off with the basics part. Like we are going to learn some of the terminologies before we start writing the programs. So, anyone having any questions before we proceed? Now, so today we are going to discuss about the terms like the meaning of comments, keywords, variables, and data types. These terms we are going to understand in a proper way so that we can use these concepts in our programming. The first term already we discussed, that is comments. It's mainly for documenting your program. So whenever we are writing the program, our program should get elaborated in our own words. Like the purpose of the program, why we are declaring a variable, what is the need of writing this statement. So we want to elaborate in our own words. That we call comments, and that is mainly for documentation purpose. So you can say like a comment, or you can say comments are used to document a program and ignored by the compiler. And we are having two types of comments. They are single line comments, where we go with the symbol // multi-line comments, where we go with the symbol /* and end with again //. Right? Same yesterday what we discussed, documentation section, that we do by using comments. Like simple example, // to find area of a circle. This is single line comment. To go with multi-line comment, /* to find gross salary and net salary of an employee. So this is multi-line comment. And whatever we write in comment, that is ignored by the compiler. Compiler will not see what we are writing. Now, the next term over here is keyword. So when you take any programming language, there will be some predefined words which are understood by the language directly. Those words only we call keywords. How to define a keyword is like, a keyword is a reserved word or predefined word whose meaning is known to the compiler directly. Compiler will understand these words automatically. And C language has 32 keywords. C language has how many keywords? 32 keywords. Then all keywords are small case letters here. All keywords in C language are small case letters. Some of the examples of keywords like int, float, char, if, else, switch, while, do, for, break, continue, like this. So these are some of the examples of keywords. So don't consider main as keyword. So if you take main is not a keyword, it's a function. Main is a function, it is not a keyword. Now, the next important term over here is variable. Variable. So whenever you want to hold some data, we require some memory space to hold the data. The name what we are giving to the memory space to hold data, that only we call variable. So like example, I want to store something like a roll number. We require memory space to hold roll number. We want to store something like name. We require memory space to hold name. We want to store something like marks. We require memory space to hold marks. So the name what you are giving to store data, these names only we call variable. How to define a variable is like, a variable is an identifier which allocates some memory space to hold the data. In order to hold data, we require some memory space. The name what we give to that space only we call variable. Then we are having some rules for identifiers. So when you are giving the name to the variable or a function, we have to follow some rules in C language. So identifier means it can be your variable name or it can be your function name. The rules for giving variable name are like, can contain capital A to Z, small a to Z, and the digits like 0 to 9 and underscore. Only one symbol, underscore. Only one special symbol, underscore. Then one more rule is, cannot start with a digit. A variable name cannot start with a digit, means in between 0 to 9. And one more rule, cannot be a keyword. A variable name cannot be what? Keyword. Like example, valid names. What are the valid names here? Like employee, salary, student, address, rule number 1 to 3. Then student named, underscore is also allowed. Then invalid are important as a beginner. Invalid names. So if you take customer address, so why this is invalid? Here we are going with a space. So we should not give space when you take variables now. We should not give space. When you give name to variable or function, don't go with spaces. So as a beginner to programming, many people will do this mistake. They give space in variable names. So why this is invalid? Space is not allowed. Then next one, 1 to 3 rule number. So why this is invalid? We are starting with a digit. What is the rule say? Cannot start with a digit, but we are starting with a digit, so it is error. So cannot start with a digit. Then next one, customer number. So why this is invalid? We are using one symbol hash. So only one special character is allowed, underscore. If I use any other special characters like hash, it is error. So hash is not allowed. Then while. What is this while? It's a keyword. So cannot be a keyword. So as a beginner, you should remember these rules compulsory. So many people will do mistake with the spaces. Clear everyone? Any questions? No. So what we discussed about the meaning of comments. Yesterday what we have done. Then keywords. Then what is the meaning of keyword? A reserved word or predefined word whose meaning is known to the language directly, compiler directly. Those we call it as keywords. C language has 32 keywords. And we discussed about variable. Whenever you want to hold some data, we require some memory space. The name what we give to that memory space only we call variable. And we have seen the rules for identifiers. The next important term is data type. Now, once we allocate memory space for variable, like example, we are allocating memory space for age. We are allocating memory space for age. In age, what type of value we store? Something like 16. So, this 16 spot, it's a numeric value without any decimal point. A numeric value without any decimal point, we call it as integer. Then, if we take something like name, we are taking name. In name, we store some characters, like example, Raj. So it's what? It's a collection of characters. We call this one as string here. String means collection of characters. String means collection of characters. Then, if you take something like gender. So when you take gender, we'll write either male or female, M or F. So only one symbol, this we call it as character. So if you are taking only one symbol, we call character. If you are allocating memory space, something like height. If you go with height, we store a value something like 5.2 or 5.6 or 5.9. So a numeric value with a decimal point, we call it as float. We call as what? Float. So the type of data, these are our variables, age, name, height, these we call variables. The type of data what variable holds, that only we call data type. How to define a data type is like type of data the variable holds is called as data type. So examples of data types like integer, char, float. These are the three data types, and we managed to collection of characters. We call it as string, but there is no separate word called as string in C language. So what are the examples of integer? Examples of integer like any numeric value without any decimal point, even positives and negatives, and including 0. Examples of characters are like any one symbol. It should have only one symbol enclosed in single quotes. It can be any symbol enclosed in single quotes, that we call char. Examples of floats are like a numeric value with a decimal point, even positives or negatives. A numeric value with a decimal point, we call it as float. Right? We are having one more string, but so directly there is no string in C language. There is no word called as string in C language. So the meaning of string is collection of characters. Collection of characters we call string. So examples are like, you can say like apple, mango, Hyderabad, 1 2 3 4, 1 2 3 4, Amirpet, like this. Okay. So anything which are included in double quotes, we call them as strings. Collection of characters are called as strings and they are included in double quotes. So when we come to the topic strings now, there we discuss more on this strings concept. What are the meaning of strings, what string operations we can do, what functions are available related to strings. That also we'll discuss. Now the next one. When you take a data type, for a data type it's going to have some memory space. It's going to allocate some memory space. So let us see what are the sizes, how much memory it's going to allocate for each data type. So for that, let me draw a table, data types. So in C language, we are having three major data types. As a beginner, you remember these three for now. So we are having what? Data type, the size. So when you take size, it goes with the two operating systems we are having. 32-bit operating systems we are having. 64-bit operating systems we are having. 34-bit and 64-bit. Examples. Now, so what are the three basic data types? In C language, we are having char, int, and float. These three are the main three basic data types. Then coming to size. So when you take a variable of type character, how much memory it is going to occupy? How much memory it's going to occupy in our RAM? So that is the meaning of size. So here for either 32-bit or 64-bit, it's going to occupy 1 byte of memory. It's going to occupy what? 1 byte. Then, so what is the meaning of byte here? 1 byte equal to 8 bits. 1 byte equal to what? 8 bits. And remember, a bit can store either 0 or 1. A bit can store either 0 or 1. So in 1 bit, I can store only 0 or 1. So for character, it's going to occupy 1 byte. Means internally, it's going to occupy 8 bits. And what are the examples of character? Anything enclosed in single quotes. And anything enclosed in single quotes are the examples of characters. Okay. Next one, integer. So for integer, on 32-bit, it's going to occupy 2 bytes. On 64-bit, it's going to occupy 4 bytes. There. So what are the examples of integers? Any numeric value without decimal point. Even positives or negatives. Then. Next one, float. For float, on 32-bit, it's going to occupy 4 bytes. And 64-bit also same, 4 bytes. See, only integer is different. And what are the examples of floats? A numeric value with decimal point. Like this. Even negative values also. Positives or negatives. So a numeric value with the decimal point are what? A float type. Clear up to here? All of you, any questions? Moving to the next one. Sorry. Declaration of variable. Declaration of variable. So in order to allocate memory space for variable, we need to declare it. Without allocating memory space, we cannot store the value into the variable. So to allocate memory only, we go for declaring. So what is the need of declaration? In order to allocate memory space for variable, we need to declare the variable. The syntax of declaring variable. The meaning of syntax is like rules of a language. Rules of a language. If you are totally new to this programming now, remember we'll be keep on using the term syntax in programming languages. What is that? Rules of a language, like grammatical rules. So every programming language will follow some rules, that only we call syntax. The syntax of declaring a variable in C language is we have to mention the data type space variable list, like variable 1 comma variable 2, like that variable n, and every statement should end with semicolon. In C language, every statement will end with semicolon. Like example, you can say int a comma b, character c, float f, float f. So now it's going to allocate memory for these variables. It's going to allocate what? Memory space for these variables. How much memory space it's going to allocate? If it is integer, let me consider it as 64-bit. Okay, nowadays many operating systems are with 64-bit. So it's going to allocate memory space for A and B. A and B. For character, 1 byte. For A and B, it's going to allocate 4 bytes each. For A, 4 bytes. For B, also 4 bytes. For C, 1 byte. For float, again 4 bytes. So once it allocates memory, then only we can store the values. Now, so we're writing one small note, like what is that point? Every statement in C language should end with a semicolon. So this is not only for C language. We are having 4 languages where it goes with 4 common syntaxes, like C language, C++, Java, .NET. These 4 languages follows almost the same syntaxes. Then, C is a case sensitive programming language. Means there is a difference between uppercase and lowercase letters. There is a difference between uppercase and lowercase letters. If I say int a comma capital A, both are different. So it's going to allocate separate memory space for small a, and for capital A, it's going to allocate separate memory space. So if I say small a equal to 10, capital A equal to 20. So what is the value of small a? It takes 10. If I use capital A, it takes 20. So separate memory spaces. It's going to allocate separate memory spaces. So small a is different, capital A is different. So that is the meaning of case sensitive programming language. Right? So what we discussed till now, the basics part, like we discussed about the meaning of comments, the meaning of keyword, the meaning of variable, and what are the rules for your variables when you are declaring, and what is the meaning of data type, how much memory it's going to allocate for every data type. We have seen in the form of table, and we have seen how to declare a variable. Got it? Anyone having any questions up to here? you can send through message if anyone having questions. Right. Now, moving to the next one, let us start off with the standard output function. Let me just give an overview of this so that in tomorrow's session we'll discuss more on this practically. Standard output function. So what is standard output? What is standard output device? Monitor. So what are the output devices we are having? Like monitor, printer. Okay. So these all are even the hard disk, these all things we call output devices. So what are input devices? Keyboard, mouse, joystick, all these are input devices. So what is standard output device? Standard output device is our monitor. Standard input device is keyboard. So I want to display some message on my screen. So whenever you want to display some message on screen, we make use of standard output function. So what is that standard output function? Is printf. Printf function is the standard output function which is used to display messages, or the value of variables or both onto the screen. So whenever you want to display a message or value of variable or both on screen, we make use of standard output function. What is that? Printf. Now, the syntax of using printf function is, we can select printf message. So what are the message you want to display? That message should go within double quotes. What are the message you want to display? We have to display that message within what? Double quotes. This is one syntax. This is for displaying only messages. Example, printf good evening. So printf welcome to all. Printf hello world. Yes. So what are the message you want to display? That message should go within what? Double quotes. So this same message will be displayed on our screen. So I'll be showing tomorrow practically all these things. Then, so this is for message. Then what about the variables? So we're having one more syntax like printf, we have to say format specifiers within double quotes. The format specifiers should come within double quotes. Then go with the variables like variable 1 comma, variable 2 comma, like that, variable n. So this is for what? This syntax is for displaying messages. This syntax is for displaying the value of variables. So here we have to say printf, double quotes start, then mention the format specifiers, double quotes close, comma, the variable values which you want to display. Like example, what are these format specifiers? The format specifiers are for integer data type. If the variable is of type integer, the format specifier for integer is %d. We use %d for integer, like decimal. You can consider like decimal. For character, it is %c. For float, it is %f. Then we are having one more like string. So there we use %s. So for integer %d, for character %c, for float %f, for string %s. What is the meaning of string? Collection of characters. Like example, if you take the variables like int a equal to 10, character c equal to p, then float f equal to some 3.14. So we are having three variables here. A, C and F. A value is 10, C value is P. So since C is character, single quotes. And float F, the value is 3.14. Now what is my objective? I want to display the value of these variables. We want to display the value. So how to display? We have to write like this. Printf. So what values you want to display? A value, C value and F value, right? I want to display A value, C value and F value. Those variables you have to write here. Okay. Then within double quotes, what I should give? Format specifiers. So what is A? A is what type? Integer. What is the format for specifier for integer? %t. So we should write here %t. Then space. Then C. Next variable is C. C is what type? Character. For character, what is the format specifier? %c. Then space. If you are giving space, then the output also will come in space. Then F. Next variable is F. F is what type? Float. So for float, what is the format specifier? %f. Then what output we get on screen? The output what we get on screen is, it's going to print 10, P and 3.14. 10, P and 3.14. Now we want to get the output like this. I want to select A equal to 10, comma, C equal to P, comma, F equal to 3.14. Means both. I want to go with the message. A equal to, C equal to and F equal to is message. And I want to go with the values. And even I want to separate by comma. Then that means both here. So how to write that one now? Printf. So whatever you want to display as it is. So A equal to. Here. What are the variables here? A comma C comma F, right? These are our variables. A equal to the value of A I should display. So that is 10. So A is what type? Integer. Since A is type integer, what is the format specifier? %c. So you have to see here %d. Comma. Comma also I want to get. Then next space again. C equal to in double quotes. So C equal to. Then I want to print the value of C. C is what type? Character. So for character, what is the format specifier? %c. So that's a %c. Comma, space, F equal to. Then I want to print F value. F is what a float. So what we should write here? %f. That's it. So what it's going to do? It's going to print A equal to as it is. Then this %t value will be replaced with A variable value. That is 10. Comma, then C equal to as it is. Then %c means it takes the value of C variable, which is P. Again comma, then F equal to as it is. Then %f means it takes value of F and displays for us. Right? So whenever you want to display messages or the value of variables, we make use of which function? Standard output function. What is that? Printf function. One more simple example. So we are having age, some 16. Float, marks equal to some 500. I want to print the output like this. My age is 16 and my marks are 5. Like that I want to get. Then I will write now. Printf. So here which variable values I want to display? Age comma marks. These are our variable names. Age comma marks. So here we should get my age is as it is. So we should write within double quotes. My age is. Then what value I should print? Age variable value. So age is what type? Integer. So I should write here %d. Then space, and my marks are, I want to display marks value. So marks is what type? Float type. So marks is what type here? Float type. Then here we'll say %f. So here we get like this. So my age is 16 and my marks are 5. Clear all of you? The need of printf function. Once we see practically, concept is very simple. Starting as a beginner, 1 or 2 days we feel somewhat complex when we start with practical. After that, once we start writing programs using printf and scanf, printf and scanf will become nothing for us. So every program we have to use. So as we keep on using, it will be very, very simple to use. Right? So anyone having any questions? So what we discussed today, we started with the meaning of comments. We are having 2 types of comment, single line comment and multi-line comment. // is for single line, /* and end with */ is multi-line. Then we are having keywords. These are reserved words or predefined words whose meaning is known to the compiler directly. So these are the examples. Variable, it's an identifier which allocates some memory space to hold your data. And we have seen the rules of identifiers. We have seen the examples of valid names and invalid names. And we discussed very important one, data type. It's mainly to hold what type of data you want to store in variable. That's meaning of data type. So we are having 3 basic data types in C language: int, char, and float. We are having one more, string, but there is no word string in C language. That string we manage with collection of characters. And we have seen the declaration of variable. What is the need of declaring variable? To allocate some memory space. Then, and we have seen standard output function like printf function, mainly to display messages or the value of variables. Okay, so if I do like this, just if I write a equal to 10, this is error. So I have to mention the data type compulsory, then only it's going to allocate memory space for this a. If I use any variable, like for example, if I use any variable, like here if I say comma, something like m. So here, do you have any variable m here? There is no variable m, but I am trying to use it. So if you are trying to use a variable without declaring, this also goes with what? Error. So whenever you want to use a variable in our program, we have to declare it. So why we should declare? To allocate memory space. Right? So please recap this, and I'll be adding all these notes in our drive link, and already I've shared that drive link in our WhatsApp channel, and I'll be adding this video in our YouTube playlist. Okay. So in tomorrow's class, we'll be seeing how to download and install this developer C++. I'm going to use developer C++, and we'll start writing the programs. Right? Thank you all. Thank you.